Okay, class, picking up where we left off at, we have section D, adding and subtracting mixed numbers. One way of adding or subtracting mixed numbers is to change them to improper fractions first and then follow the procedure we just practiced. However, if the numbers are large, many people find it more convenient to work with the mixed number form. Okay, now, as you all can see, these next two problems have very large numbers. So why don't we try this? With addition. Now, this method I'm about to show you only works with addition, and we'll get to what you would do with subtraction. What I would suggest you do is first just add up the fractions. Don't even concern yourself with these whole numbers for right now. So we would take 2/5 plus 1/2. Now, the common denominator of 5 and 2 we know is 10. So we would say we know 5 times 2 is 10. So we will multiply our numerator and denominator by 2. And we know 2 times 5 is 10. So we will multiply our numerator and denominator by 5. So we will have 4 over 10 plus 5 over 10. 4 tenths plus 5 tenths is 9 tenths. Okay, so now we have our 9 tenths. Now what we need to do is concentrate on these whole numbers. We could take 14 plus 27, and this will give us 7 plus 4 is 11, carry our 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So it's 41, and we would put it with this fraction, and we're done. So it's 41 and 9 tenths. Okay, now let's try it again over here. Okay, now again, let's just add up the fractions. We have 5/6 plus 2/3. Okay, the common denominator of 6 and 3 we know is 6. So we could do it the same way we've done in previous problems. We could say, since the common denominator, I'll write it over here, the common denominator is 6. We could say 6 goes into 6 once, so we'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 1. We could say 6 divided by 6 divided by 3 is 2. We'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So we will have 5 times 1 is 5, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. 5, 6 plus 4, 6, we know is 9, 6. Now we can simplify this 9, 6 by dividing the numerator and denominator by 3, and this would give us 3 halves. Now we could take 2 and a 3. 2 goes into 3 once, and we'll have a remainder of 1. So now we know that this mixed number would be 1 and 1/2. Now what we need to do next is this here. We will have to take the whole number 33, that whole number 49, and then we will add this 1 and 1/2 to it. Now with this problem here, we could just bring the fraction down, which is 1/2, and 3 plus 9 is 12, plus 1 is 13, carry our 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8. So we have 83 and a half. Now, we scroll down here to the subtraction. Now, the method I'm about to show you in subtraction, you could use the same method with addition. I just think with addition, I think that the method I just showed you was a little easier, but of course it's up to your choice. So the first thing we should do here is change this from horizontal to vertical. So we have 50 and 5/6 minus 22 and 1/4. Now, what we need to do is find the common denominator of these fractions. The common denominator is 6 and 4. We know we could use 12. So we ask ourselves, I'll write this, common denominator is 12. So we'll say 12 divided by 6 is 2. So we'll multiply this fraction by 2 over 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we'll multiply this fraction by 3 over 3. So we would carry over our whole number. So it'd be 50 and a minus 22. And we'll multiply our fractions. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Now, before we get to the whole numbers, we must subtract the fractions first. 10 twelfths minus 3 twelfths will give us 7 twelfths. And 50 minus 22 is 28. And this is our final answer. Okay, now we come to our next problem. We had 37 3/8 minus 10 1/2. So we add 37 3/8 minus 10 1/2. Now again, we have to find a common denominator. Common denominator 8 and 2. Let's just make that 8 and 2, common denominator would be 8. So 8 divided by 8 we know is 1, so we'll multiply this numerator and denominator by 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. We'll multiply this numerator and denominator by 4. So we carry over the whole numbers. And now we multiply the fractions. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Now look here, we cannot subtract these fractions because this bottom fraction is larger than this top fraction is. So now I'm going to show you a way how to be able to subtract this. We're going to have to borrow. But before we borrow, let's carry over all of the things that we already know. We're going to carry over this whole bottom mixed number, this 10 4/8. We're going to carry over the denominator of 8. The only thing that's going to change is this 37 and this 3 here. So first of all, we have to borrow 1 from this 37. We'll make it 36. So we're going to carry over to 36. And then the one we borrowed, now the easiest way to get the numerator of this fraction here is to take this denominator, which is 8, and add it to this numerator. 8 plus 3 is 11. That is what your new numerator would be. Now let's recap that. We carried over everything that we needed. The minus 10 4/8 and the 8 from the denominator here. We borrowed 1 from this 37, made it 36, which we carried over. And to find the new numerator, we took the old denominator plus the old numerator. 8 plus 3 is 11. Now, we're going to subtract. 11/8 minus 4/8 will give us 7/8. And 36 minus 10 is 26. And this is our final answer, 26 7/8. Now we go here to section E, order of operations with fractions. It says, don't forget, parentheses is first, exponents, and then multiplication or division, whichever one from left to right, and addition or subtraction, whichever one is first from left to right. Now we come here, we look at our parentheses. There's nothing we can do inside of these parentheses. So now we look for exponents. We have an exponent here. So we add 2/3 to the second power. This is the same as, and I'm going to write this off to the side. This is the same as 2/3 times 2/3. We know 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 3 is 9. As a matter of fact, let me put this in a parentheses, just to signify that it's just 2/3 in parentheses times itself. So this gives us 4/9 plus 5 times 1/6. Now we have addition and multiplication. So we know we will multiply. So we'll put this 5 over 1 and we'll multiply. First of all, we'll bring down this 4/9. We'll multiply the numerators and the denominators. So 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. Now we have to find the common denominator of 9 and 6. Common denominator of 9 and 6, we could use 18. So we could set this up as 4/9 plus 5/6. We know 18 divided by 9 is 2, so we'll multiply by 2 over 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3, so we'll multiply by 3 over 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 times 2 is 18. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. Now we have 8 over 18 plus 15 over 18, which will give us 23 over 18. And we know we can make this into a mixed number. So we have 18 and a 23. 18 goes into 23 once. 23 minus 18 is 5. So we have a remainder of 5. So our final answer would be 1 5/18. Now, We go back to this problem here. We have parentheses, which we can do something inside of. So we would do these parentheses first. 5/16 minus 1/16, we know would give us 4/16. Now you can simplify if you choose, but we can wait as well. But let's just simplify this. 4 and 16, we know they both have 4 in common. So let's just simplify that. No, I ran out of space here. So it'd be 2 squared over 3 minus 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, now the next thing that we would do, we cannot do anything else inside this parenthesis. We have an exponent, so we would do the exponent next. 2 to the second power is 4 over 3 minus 1/4. We could drop the parenthesis, divided by 2/3. Now the operations we have left is subtraction and division. So now we know we do division. So we have 4/3 minus 1/4. Division would become multiplication, and we would take the reciprocal of the second fraction, which would be 3/2. So now we have subtraction, we have multiplication. We know we will multiply. So we have 4/3 minus 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. Now we have to find the common denominator of 3 and 8, which we could make the common denominator 24. So we'll say 24, well first let's line this up vertically. We have 4/3 minus 3/8. And we know our common denominator is 24. So we'll say 24 divided by 3 is 8. So we'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 8. And then 24 divided by 8 is 3. We'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. 4 times 8 is 32. 3 times 8 is 24. And then we have 3 times 3 is 9. And 8 times 3 is 24. And this is subtraction. 32 minus 9 is actually 23, all over 24, and that is the final answer. Okay, I want to do a little recap over this last problem. What we did was we did what was in parentheses first. We had 5/16 minus 1/16, which gave us 4/16, and we brought everything else down, and we divided the numerator and denominator both by 4, which made this 1/4, and we brought everything else down. Now, the next thing we end up doing, because we couldn't do anything else in this parenthesis, we did the exponent. 2 to the second is 4, and that's over 3, minus 1/4 divided by 2/3. Now, we have subtraction and division. We would do division. So we have 4/3 minus 1/4. The division becomes multiplication, and we take the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2. Now we bring down our 4/3 minus 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. Now we need a common denominator of 3 and 8, which is 24. And then we set this up vertically. Now we would take the 24, let me write it here. We would take 24 divided by 3, which is 8, and multiply the numerator and denominator by 8. Then we'd take 24 divided by 8, which is 3, multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. And 4 times 8 is 32. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9. 8 times 3 is 24. And we have our subtraction here. 32 minus 9 is 23. And we bring down our 24, and we're done.